The big idea of 1 Kings 8:61 is this: a fully committed heart chooses alignment with God before pressure pushes you into reaction. If you're feeling that tightness in your chest right now, I want you to know that you are not alone. You have responsibilities on your shoulders, people counting on you, and decisions that you don't want to wait for till you feel ready. And somewhere in the middle of emails, meetings, and family life, you can feel your heart getting pulled in 2, if not 3 directions. But here is the hope. You don't have to live life divided. Let me talk to you like I'm sitting across the table and be completely honest with you. You are a faith-based leader in business and ministry, and you're trying to do the right thing in the real world. You want to follow Jesus and still lead well. And you want to love people and still protect standards. And you want to build something that lasts without losing your soul in the process. And to be honest with you, that's why this verse matters so much. But your hearts must be fully committed to the Lord our God, to live by his decrees and obey his commands as at this time. 1 Kings 8:61. That's not a guilt verse. That is a clarity verse. It's God saying, I want your heart whole, not perfect, not polished, definitely not pretending, but simply whole. Wholehearted is a decision that you make before the day decides for you. Pressure loves to decide for you. That is a fact. Pressure will choose your tone, pressure will choose your pace, and your priorities if you let it. Pressure will nudge you to react fast, defend hard, and cut corners in small ways that don't feel like a big deal until you look up and realize you've been building crooked for months. Think construction with me for a second. A good builder does not start with paint colors, not the starting line. A good builder starts with the foundation of what they're building. A good builder checks the level before the wall gets tall, because the taller the wall gets, the more expensive it becomes to fix what was off at the start. And that is what a committed heart does. It checks alignment early. It refuses to build a day on a crooked interior. So let me ask you a very direct question. What is pulling your heart off center right now? Is it the need to prove yourself as a leader? Is it the fear of disappointing the people that are around you? Is it the constant noise of communication that never stops? Is it the weight of leadership where you feel like you have to be the strong one all the time? I know that weight, trust me. I've been there, done that, probably have the gold medal. I've carried it. So let me confess something to you that maybe will help. There have been seasons where I let urgency train me, and I called it leadership. I answered messages way too fast. I avoided hard conversations way too long, and I pushed through on fumes and told myself it was sacrifice, when it was really a lack of alignment on the inside. Now, that's not what Jesus is forming us to be. And the good news is that growth is available. This matters spiritually because your heart is not just your emotions. Your heart is your decision center. Your heart is where loyalty lives. And when your heart is split, you can still get tasks done, but you'll do them with less joy, less clarity, and definitely less peace. It also matters practically because people can feel it. Your team can sense when you lead from fear. Your family can sense when you are present but not really there. And your clients can sense when you're rushing and performing instead of serving with integrity. Your life, leaders, is a witness. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because your consistency either points people towards Jesus or it points them toward pressure as the real God of your life. Now, let us bring this into kind of a real scenario or real scene. It's late at night and you're still at the office, whether that be in a building or at your home, or sitting at the kitchen table even with your laptop open. The room is quiet, but your mind is not. You're staring at a message thread, maybe a string of emails that got tense, or a document that outlines a decision that you have to make. Tomorrow, you have to have a hard conversation. Maybe it's with a team member who has been missing the mark, or maybe it's with a partner where trust is kind of frayed over time. Heck, it might even be with a client who keeps pushing boundaries and you keep letting it happen because you simply hate conflict. You can feel your stomach tighten because you know the words you need to say, and you also know the reaction that you might get back. So you start rehearsing, you start planning, you start building the conversation in your head. And if you're honest, you're not just building clarity, you're building defense. You're building control, and you might even be building a strategy to avoid discomfort. That is the moment where this verse becomes realer than real. A fully committed heart does not mean you enjoy the conversation, not one bit. It means that you choose obedience in that conversation. Because obedience is not theory. Obedience shows up in the meeting that you do not want to have. Here's another question for you that I want you to think about. What have you been delaying because you want the outcome to be safe? A committed heart does not chase safety as the highest goal. A committed heart chases alignment with God, and it trusts that obedience produces a better kind of fruit over time. In construction, you don't build a strong structure by avoiding weight. You build it by placing the right supports in the right places at the right time. So what are the supports that keep your heart aligned when pressure rises? One support is scripture early before the day starts pouring weight onto you. If you open messages first, you let other people set the tone of your soul. But if you open the word first, you let God set the tone for your soul. So tomorrow morning, before you open communication, that little phone or the laptop, open scripture. Read a short passage and ask one question to yourself out loud. Lord, what do you want to shape in me today? Then take that one line with you. Not 10 chapters, not a marathon, just one truth that steadies your interior. Another support is prayer in motion. Now, I'm not talking about long prayers that require an empty schedule. I'm talking about honest prayers in the hallway between the moments, the milestones of your day. Before the hard conversation, pause and whisper, Lord, keep my heart steady. Before you respond to a tense message, pause and whisper, Lord, help me speak with honor. Before you walk into a meeting where you know you'll be tempted to perform, pause and whisper, Lord, keep me aligned. Trust me when I tell you, this is not religious talk. It's leadership training for your soul. Now, let's talk about the hard conversation again, because this is where a lot of leaders either grow or drift. Build the conversation like a craftsman. Use simple and plain words and speak to what happened, not what you or anybody else assumed. Own your part without dodging the point. Listen without surrendering clarity, and choose a tone that you'll be proud of later when you replay it in your head. And if you're wondering what it looks like to bring Jesus into that moment without making it awkward, here's what it looks like. You show up honest, calm, and clear. You speak truth with care. You refuse to manipulate. You refuse to punish. You refuse to hide. That, my friend, is obedience in real life. That is wholeheartedness in a boardroom or a conference room. And let me give you a simple 48-hour move that touches life, leadership, and business. Within the next 48 hours, do 3 things in one flow. Open scripture before you open communication for the day, even if it's brief. Take one short prayer pause before your hardest meeting and initiate the first step of the hard conversation that you've been delaying, even if that first step is scheduling it and writing the first sentence that you need to say to start it off. That is not a lot, but that little bit is strong because it is alignment. And this is where you need to know something about God's heart towards you. God is not waiting to shame you. God is inviting you to be whole. And when your heart is fully committed, your decisions start to clean up. Your tone starts to clean up, your relationship starts to breathe again, and your leadership stops feeling like you're carrying a weight all alone. And here's the part that leaders often miss. When you lead from a steady heart, your execution improves. You follow through with integrity because you're not trying to impress people. You communicate clearly because you're not trying to protect yourself, and you make decisions faster because you're not stuck in fear. You can say yes and no with clarity because your heart is not divided. So let me ask you another question. What part of your life is getting less of you because your heart is split? Is it your spouse? Is it your kids? Is it your team? Is it your own health? Is it your time with God that keeps getting pushed to the margin? A committed heart does not fix everything overnight, trust me, but it does choose direction, and direction changes the outcomes of those decisions. Some of you need to stop treating obedience like a special event. Obedience is a daily build. Some of you need to stop waiting to feel ready, because ready is not the goal. You see, alignment is the goal. Some of you may need to stop acting like your calling requires you to be available to everyone all the time. A committed heart learns boundaries that protect love, protect clarity, and protect the work God actually gave you to do. Now, I want you to picture tomorrow again. You walk into that hard conversation with your shoulders a little bit lower because you already met with God. You speak slower because you're not trying to win, and you listen better because you're not afraid. You say the hard sentence with kindness, and you do not take the bait if the other person reacts. That changes the atmosphere. It might not change their response immediately, but it changes who you are becoming. And over time, that kind of leadership builds trust. Not perfect trust, but real trust. The kind of trust that makes teams healthier, families safer, and work more fruitful. And I want you to feel hope here. Jesus does not ask you to carry pressure alone. Jesus invites you to bring your whole heart into his presence. Then take the next right step with him. You do not need a dramatic overhaul tonight. No, you don't. You just need a committed heart and a simple next step. Here is that step, the step that you can pay attention to. Choose one hard conversation you have been delaying and take the first obedient action toward it today. And until we meet in the next video, remember, stay blessed and be human.